Hello folks, Shin Tiger Curl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you a special preview video for an upcoming Let's Play of mine. As a lot of you know, I am a big One Piece fan. I read the manga pretty much weekly whenever it publishes, and I've reread it about 5 different times, the most I've ever read for an entire manga. So, the next Let's Play I'm planning on doing is for the next Pirate Warriors game coming out. Pirate Warriors 3, One Piece Pirate Warriors. The Pirate Warriors series was done by the same team that does the Dynasty Warriors games. So it has many of the same mechanics. I had Pirate Warriors 1, never played Pirate Warriors 2, but I'm getting Pirate Warriors 3. Originally I was going to get a PS4, but then I found out that it is on Steam, so when it drops, I'm definitely going to pick it up, and we're about a month removed from that. So I figured, for those of you who are uninitiated, I do a little series I call Countdown to Pirate Warriors 3. In it, I do a bio of all the various groups and individual characters that you will be able to play as in this game, so that you won't have that many questions about who this person is, and why they're doing this, and such. And this is just a way to introduce you into the series. So this the first video, this will be a preview video, and mostly for the Straw Hat. This will be for the Straw Hat Pirates, the main group or the main protagonists of the manga and anime. Now, keep in mind, all the information that I'm getting from for these videos is from the One Piece wiki, which you can look up on Google, or I'll leave a link in the description below. It's got everything you need from information about the characters, their powers, special abilities, locations, and other things that have been revealed through the course of the manga. So, of course, as the first video, we'll start off by doing a group bio of the Straw Hat Pirates. And I'll start. The Straw Hat Pirates are a pirate crew that originated from the East Blue, but have various members from different areas. They are the main focus and protagonists of the anime and manga One Piece, and are led by the main protagonist, Monkey D. Luffy. The Straw Hats are named after Luffy's signature hat that was given to him by red-haired Shanks, and was first referred to as the Straw Hat Pirates by Smoker in Alabaster. The crew sailed on the Going Merry, their first official Straw Hat ship, up until the Water 7 arc. After the Inez Lobby arc, they obtained a new ship called the Thousand Sunny. The Straw Hats currently consist of 9 members whose combined bounties equal 800 million berries and 50. Following the events of the Shiboni Archipelago, all 9 members were separated from one another. For 2 years, they trained in relatively isolated locations, becoming stronger for the sake of helping each other. The crew's Jolly Roger is a cartoon-like depiction of a traditional skull and crossbones, with the skull wearing Luffy's trademark straw hat. In addition to being their flag, the Jolly Roger also has been shown on the sails of the Going Merry and the Thousand Sunny. Crew members. As a result of Luffy's choice in who joins the crew, the Straw Hats are notable for being one of the most varied, if not bizarre, pirate crews in the One Piece world. Their ranks have members so vastly different from one another, it almost seems random in retrospect. These include a doctor who is a shape-shifting reindeer that can be mistaken for something else depending on his form, such as a gorilla when in his human form, or a tanuki when in his usual mid-form. A cyborg for a shipwright who has a very eccentric personality and wears almost nothing except shirts and speedos, and a lively, undead, perverted skeleton musician. The Straw Hats have 4 Devil Fruit users among them: Luffy, Chopper, Robin, and Brook. The majority of them are also fairly young, with only 3 members being 30 or older, although 2 of the oldest members are just as childish as the others. Unlike most crews, they consider their ship to be crew members. In the game Legend of the Rainbow Island, a young boy named Diaz joins the crew. At the end of the game, however, he leaves. His overall inclusion in the crew's history is considered non-canon, as it is part of a video game. Crew strength. Despite having a small number of members, the Straw Hats are a very powerful crew. Their captain has continuously defeated people who are renowned for their incredible strength, such as Sir Crocodile and Gecko Moria of the Seven Warlords, the highly feared tyrant Enel of Skypiea, and the infamous Rob Lucci of CP9. The crew itself has done things that most would think impossible and completely insane, like defeating an entire organization, such as Baroque Works and CP9, punching a world noble, and breaking in and out of the judicial island Inez Lobby. In fact, after the incident that occurred at Inez Lobby, the world government has labeled them a very dangerous crew since their actions endanger the balance of the three great powers. All of them have at least one talent in which they are virtually perfect for, and each member, more or less, a formidable if not downright fearsome fighter in their own right. While all of them have amazing strength in one way or another, three of them, the captain, the swordsman, and the chef, have such astoundingly inhuman strength that the rest of the crew have dubbed them the Monster Trio. Each member in the beginning has some fairly high fighting abilities, but as they progress, each member has had to become stronger due to each opponent they encounter either being significantly stronger than the last or having required them to develop new skills or techniques to combat new enemies. The Straw Hats have been shown to be extremely friendly, managing to make all the right friends in all the right places to accomplish their goals. These friends and allies have proven useful depending on the location or objective, and thus the Straw Hats seem to have no regrets fighting for the sake given the circumstances and vice versa. Overall, their most unique strength is the fact that the Straw Hat crew on many occasions are extremely lucky, being able to achieve many things that would be considered impossible feats. This includes various wild escapes from marine captures and ambushes, confronting, defeating, and escaping warlords and the world government-led organizations with no casualties, and managing to reach Skypiea via the knock-up stream without losing anybody while simultaneously escaping the Blackbeard pirates. In fact, some of these lucky accomplishments are considered miraculous in hindsight. While each member can hold their own by themselves, what makes the Straw Hats truly strong is their teamwork, which has become more important as the series progressed. When one of them is incapable of doing a task, another can help out in their place instead. This helps the crew very much in facing odds that may be too much for them if they work separately. When at sea, the Straw Hats tend to be relaxed, playing with each other, training, reading, or whatever else they do to occupy themselves. They can maintain this attitude even in the most unshakable waters of paradise or even in their descent to and from Fishman Island. However, when a crisis pops up, like storms, tidal waves, large sea life, or falling ships, the crew can instantly snap out of their relaxed state and swing into action. They all seem to know their place and will do what they should do in the circumstances provided. Most of the time, though, they tend to sail at a casual pace without rushing. After the 2-year time skip, even though they have been in a dormant state for some time, the Straw Hats are talked about amongst pirates on a legendary level. Even Sentomaru casually comments that pirates are not what they are used to be. He called the imposters of the Straw Hats a wasteful trash when Demero Black boasts of his lineage in front of him, prompting Sentomaru to take him down with a single blow of his axe, and saying that the real Monkey D. Luffy would never have done so. The crew have gained a legendary status since they first sailed, on par with all the other major crews of the world, even the Blackbeard pirates. They are currently the only pirate crew to openly wage war against the world government and have practically gotten away with it. It still stands as they are the only pirate crew to have escaped from every branch of law enforcement that the government could throw at them. The Seven Warlords of the Sea, Cypher Pole, Impel Down, and Marine Ford have all failed in their attempts to hold the crew, with the captain penetrating and escaping the latter two by himself. Perhaps as a testament to their strength, they are the only known crew where every single member has a bounty on their heads. When news of them resurfaced, the entire Marine organization was thrown into a frenzy to stamp out their revival, whilst the rest of the pirates cheered on. It is possible that their fame has led many to join the ranks of piracy, for when the fake Straw Hats started recruiting pirates, many of them flocked to join up, and were greatly shocked when the Monster Trio gave a show of a small fraction of their power. By the end of the 2-year-long training, it is presumed that the Straw Hats have grown exponentially stronger in individual power, as some of them took their self-imposed training under the tutelage of prominent figures of the sea, like Silver's Rayleigh, Dracul Mihawk, Impriaro Ivankov, and Monkey D. Dragon. Each member of the monster trio, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, have been shown to be able to defeat a pacifista in a single attack, whereas it took the combined efforts of the entire crew to barely beat one before. Luffy easily destroyed a pacifista with a single haki-imbued jet pistol, as well as Zoro and Sanji, the latter using his Diablo Jambe, both dealing crippling blows to a pacifista with raw strength. Zoro and Sanji each used attacks that would have likely been sufficient to destroy the pacifista on their own, had they not been trying to outdo each other. Another example of the monster trio's strength is they were able to defeat a sea monster such as the Kraken, a creature several times larger than the Thousand Sunny itself, without much effort underwater, where all their strength is greatly decreased. Afterwards, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Brook defeated all the troops stationed in Ryuga Palace with ease. The crew also easily took out 100,000 lower members of the new Fishmen Pirates, which consisted of about 70,000 fishmen and 30,000 humans, with Luffy alone taking out about 50,000 people with a single burst of Hyakushuku Haki. In addition to their strength, the Straw Hat Pirates have entered into an alliance with Trafalgar Law and his Heart Pirates with the goal of defeating Kaido. The Straw Hats have established an unofficial and temporary alliances with other pirates, non-pirates, and sometimes marines and royalty when fighting against powerful enemies, but they gained a permanent friendship with their allies when they came to their aid and support on several occasions whenever they crossed paths. Even the supposedly weak members, Nami and Usopp, have become strong enough to take down fighters of the Don Quixote pirates, who are both Devil Fruit users, Buffalo and Baby 5, after they had been weakened by Frankie and the Frankie Shogun, all by themselves. Bounties. Though they are pirates in name, the Straw Hats do not engage in the stereotypical activities of pirates. They are all kind-hearted for the most part, and only fight in self-defense or in vengeance for their friends. In fact, before the Ina's Lobby arc, when CP9 initiated the conflict by blackmailing Nico Robin and detaining her, the Straw Hats mostly fought only other pirates, with the exception of Luffy and Zoro, who took down the dreaded Axe-Hand Morgan and several of his unwilling subordinates, and Sanji, who beat up Full Body, and possibly some other unfortunate marines prior to becoming an official Straw Hat. It seems they were considered dangerous to the world government and even given bounties simply because they called themselves pirates. They are considered villains by the world government and the general public who aren't familiar with them. While this is a hassle for them, like most pirates, the majority of the Straw Hats see their bounties as a form of achievement, a sign of how much fame and recognition their actions have produced. Nami notes that, as pirates, they are used to taking the blame and being portrayed as villains. Their current bounties total up to 800,050,000 berries. These bounties do not accurately reflect their current powers, notably due to the lack of updates during and after the time skip. Relationships among the crew. Each member of the crew values their friendships highly. Despite their usual comedic annoyance with each other from time to time, they very much love being together as well as being a member of the crew. So much so that they tend to forget their worries and burdens, as shown when Nami, Robin, Frankie, and Brook. One of the major themes of the series is how committed they are to each other, to the point where they are willing to give up what is important to them, such as their lives and even their dreams, for one of their crew members. If a single member is hurt by an outside force, physically or emotionally, the other members will become enraged and take drastic action to avenge their friends. Previously, they had gone so far as to take out an entire organization, made enemies of the world government, and even attack the world nobles. Examples of their camaraderie include, during the fight with Bartholomew Kuma, Sanji, Zoro, and Brook threw themselves in front of their friends to keep Kuma from getting to them. After Luffy was overwhelmed with grief over Ace's death, not only was he able to overcome his pain by remembering that he still had his crew, but the others struggled to return to him for support when they realized how hurt Luffy would be. Upon realizing his message for waiting for 2 years, they all reminisce to how Luffy changed their lives for the better and resolve to use this time to hone their skills in order to become more useful to him and protect each other from any dangers. Each member of the crew has a dream they want to achieve. These dreams are their reasons for joining Luffy's crew and essentially the driving force behind their lives. Each crew member's dream was inspired by tragedy, often death, in their childhoods that involved at least one person they idolized and cared for deeply. Some, like Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Chopper, and Frankie, are fulfilling their dreams by accumulating knowledge and or achieving a certain task while sailing the Grand Line. Others, like Luffy, Sanji, Robin, and Brook, are searching for a person, place, or thing that can be found on the Grand Line. Whatever the reason, each member of the Straw Hats' dreams involves traveling the Grand Line, and each Straw Hat member refuses to die before achieving their dream. However, the determination does not extend to sacrificing or abandoning their comrades to fulfill their dreams. Member dreams. Luffy's dream is to become the Pirate King and gather his own crew to back him up. To become the Pirate King, he must find Gold D. Rogers' famed treasure One Piece, which is implied to be on Raftel. As for a crew, he's brought together so far 8 people who have caught his attention. Luffy is also looking to meet up again with Shanks and return his Straw Hat to him, but will only do so after his crew has surpassed Shanks' crew in strength. Zoro's dream, shared with Kuina, is to become the world's greatest swordsman. To fulfill this dream, he must surpass every swordsman in the world, including the world's greatest swordsman, Dracul Mihawk. Zoro nearly gave up his dream in an attempt to convince the warlord Bartholomew Kuma to refrain from killing Luffy, despite the fact that the first time they met, Zoro threatened to kill Luffy if he ever got in the way of his dream, proving his loyalty towards his captain as well as to the rest of the crew, as he believes that he cannot be the world's strongest swordsman if he can't protect his captain's dream. Luffy, likewise, believes that the Pirate King should have the best swordsman on his side. Nami's dream is to draw a map of the entire world. She has already mapped out all the areas she has traveled to, and it can be assumed that she will create a world map when the story is over. Also, at the beginning of the story, she is trying to get 100 million berries in order to buy and save her hometown, Kokiyashi Village, from the clutches of the fishman pirate Arlong. While her savings were confiscated after stealing 93 million berries, in the process of stealing from other pirates, she met Luffy, who defeated Arlong and freed her village. Usopp's dream is to become a brave warrior of the sea like his father, Yaisop. Although he implies that he has accomplished this dream before he leaves the crew, Usopp has a second dream. After the Little Garden arc, he hoped to visit Elbaf and see the warrior giants he idolizes. And during the post-war arc, Usopp develops yet another dream, to become the true Sniper King, after he got Luffy's message to get stronger in 2 years. Sanji's dream, shared with Zeph, is to find the All Blue, a legendary ocean. It is assumed to be in the Grand Line, a place where all waters from all of the other 4 seas gather, bringing fish from all over the globe. During the early Arlong arc, Sanji stated he would wanted to visit Fishman Island someday to see a mermaid, which has been fulfilled. Sure enough, the chef broke down crying after seeing all the mermaids, and implied that meeting the mermaids was on the equivalent level of finding the All Blue. He also wishes to consume the suke fruit, but unfortunately for him, Absalom destroyed that dream as he had already eaten it. However, Sanji, upon seeing Absalom's detestable actions, changed his mind about his desire to consume it. Chopper's dream is to become a great doctor that can cure any disease, much like his father figure, Dr. Hiruluk's ambition, as well as travel the world, exploring with his friends and expanding his horizons. Robin's dream is to find the Rio Ponograph, which tells the true history of the One Piece world, including the Void Century, continuing the research of her mother Nico Olivia and her mentor Clover. The Goring Mary's dream as the crew's ship was to sail with the Straw Hats forever when it was revealed to the crew upon its demise. Due to its destruction, the Going Mary's dream appeared to have gone unfulfilled. However, the Mary's spirit inhabits the Straw Hats' new ship, the Thousand Sunny, and therefore its dream can live on through it. Frankie's dream is to create and travel with a dream ship that would experience countless battles, can overcome extreme hardships, and reach the end of the Grand Line. He has created this ship with the Straw Hats are riding, and it is his task to keep it in good condition. Previously, one of his dreams was to beat Spanum to pieces. Fortunately, this was fulfilled towards the end of Inez Lobby. Brooks' dream is to return to his crewmate Laboon, whom his former crew, the Rumbar Pirates, had left behind at Reverse Mountain for his safety, with a promise to return after crossing the Grand Line. He wishes to fulfill that promise to Laboon as well as that of his former crewmates, who died on their journey, to deliver their final song recorded on a tone dial before their death. The X Mark. The X Mark is something the first 6 Straw Hats, Luffy through Chopper, as well as Nefertari, Vivi, and Karoo, had on their left forearms. During their adventure in Alabaster, they had to face a very tricky opponent, Mr. 2, with his Devil Fruit power, which can make him look like any one of them. Zoro came up with the idea to counteract this power. They made a black X mark on their left arms as a symbol of their belonging to the Straw Hats. To prevent this being from being copied by Mr. X, it was covered by a bandage and only revealed as a proof of identity. The intention being that the band appeared to be proof, but in fact concealed the true sign. Luffy then stated that the X mark was a sign of their friendship. The X mark came into play 3 times in Alabaster. One when Karoo reached Alubarna to deliver a message to Vivi's father, Nefertari Cobra. Chaka noticed this bandage and, thinking Karoo was wounded, tried to examine it. Karoo promptly slapped his hand away. 2. When Vivi was heading towards Alubarna, the city of Alabaster, the capital city of Alabaster, she met Usopp, but was unsure if it was him or not. As she asked to show their recognizing symbol, he showed the bandage, but without uncovering the X. Vivi understood that he was Mr. 2 in disguise as Usopp and ran away. And 3. When the Straw Hat Pirates were leaving Alabaster, they could not say goodbye to Vivi a proper way, to avoid the princess from being recognized by the Marines as their crewmate. So they stand with their backs facing Vivi, raising their left hands and showing their X mark. Vivi and Karoo replied the same way too, as a symbol of their unbreakable friendship tie. Post-time skip. As promised, each Straw Hat returned to the Shabandi Archipelago. Roronoa was the first to arrive, next was Frankie, then Nami, Usopp, Tony Chopper, Brook, Sanji, Nico Robin, and finally Monkey D. Luffy. During their 2-year hiatus, they have undergone significant changes in combat and appearance. These include: Luffy has gained an X-shaped scar on his chest caused by a Kainu in Marineford. He now wears a yellow sash similar to Zoro's. He has mastered control of his Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd abilities, as well as gaining the use of the 3 forms of Haki. He is able to generate explosions with the impact of his new attacks. It was also revealed that thanks to his battle with Magellan, Luffy is now virtually immune to most, if not all, types of poison, although he can still be affected by poisonous substances like Caesar Clown's Shigokune gas. It has been recently revealed that during his time in Rikushikina that he has developed a Gear 4th, gaining a new, more powerful form similar to the appearance of his previous Nightmare Luffy form. Zoro has gained a scar over his left eye, similar to Rayleigh, as well as gained more muscle. He now wears a green robe instead of a shirt and pants, and a red sash. He has grown much more powerful, developing enhanced versions of his old techniques, as well as a new Santoryu secret technique, and mastering his flying sword slash techniques. It has been implied that his Ichi-Toryu, Ni-Toryu, and possibly even his Q-Toryu techniques have improved vastly. He also learned how to use Bushukiro Haki, and is implied that he can use Kinbushu Haki as well. Nami's body has matured further and allowed her wavy hair to grow out, and she has obtained technology from Wetheria, including many weather balls. She has upgraded her perfect climb attack to sorcery climb attack. With her new climb attack, she's capable of creating large and more varied weather patterns, even using it for daily uses like showering, and has mastered her Mirage Tempo ability to the point where she can make herself perfectly invisible and undetectable by most people. She is also capable of creating sea clouds that can be used in normal ocean. something that was originally not possible 2 years ago. Usopp has developed a muscular body and has grown a faint goatee, wearing a white hat with longer hair tied back, using plants called pop greens as weapons, and claims he has become a braver warrior. He now uses a smaller version of his Kabuto slingshot and has also replaced his pair of goggles. He can still use his old arsenal and even makes his new slingshot grow up into living carnivorous plants that can shoot large amounts of rubble as ammunition. Recently, it's been shown that he can now awaken the ability of Kinbu Shoko Haki, although his control of this ability is relatively new. Sanji's goatee has grown significantly thicker, as well as a soul patch with it, and a few mustache hairs. His hair now covers his right eye, showing his left, revealing that his left eyebrow swirls in the same direction as his right. He can now activate his Daivibu Jamba technique much faster and without having to spin, as well as generate large amounts of flame through pure rage by remembering his painful stay on Kamabaka Kingdom, entering seemingly a new form when his whole body is encompassed by flame, his kicks setting fire to anything he hits. He has also developed an ability to swim at very high speeds using only his legs, a flying ability similar to CP9's Geppo, and he apparently has learned Ivankov's spectrum technique. He has also learned how to use Haki, displaying a use of Kinbushoko Haki when searching for Kunemon's body, and has been confirmed to be able to utilize Bushushoku Haki by Luffy. Chopper's hybrid, half-man, half-deer form has a lighter fur tone compared to 2 years ago, and in his animal form appears to have grown into a full reindeer. Another change is that he's wearing some kind of helmet over his hat, giving him the appearance of wearing an oversized baseball cap. He developed a new form named Kung Fu Point and has reinforced his horn point. His guard point has grown dramatically in size, and his heavy point has a greater amount of muscle and fur. All of his 7 transformation points have been renewed and reinforced, and he's able to freely transform into 6 of them without the rumble ball, requiring it only for the monster point form. He has now full control over his monster form, although he can only use this state for 3 minutes before his body becomes weak from a couple of hours as a side effect. Hold on. Robin no longer has bangs, and her hair is much longer, but still straight-styled hair. It is pulled back with a pair of sunglasses resting at the top of her forehead, with small strands of hair falling from the upper left and right corners of her forehead. Her skin tone is much lighter than before, suggesting not only that her previous darker skin tone, a tan from spending so much time in sunny regions, especially Alabaster due to its desert climate, but also that she spent so much time in the 2 years getting little sun at all, either due to a climate of less sun or because she was inside buildings or underground much of the time. She has mastered her devil fruit powers to the point of being able to generate thousands of parts, generating giant limbs of her body, and even able to bloom her entire body, thus cloning herself. It has been recently shown that she has mastered her powers to the point where she can sprout her hands in the air instead of on the solid surface. Frankie has used the technology from Dr. Vegapunk's research lab to develop a bigger and more advanced body, adding a BF-37 tattoo to symbolize the latest and greatest model, Battle Frankie 37. His bulky arms with oval shapes were replaced with square ones, and he installed a device on his nose to control his hair. He now usually goes with a shorter buzz cut style, but can revert to his old style or change it to a new one. His arsenal has increased in firepower as well. He can now use rocket launchers and a laser cannon, similar to that of Pacifista's and Kizaru's Devil Fruit, at his disposal. He can also fight inside of a robot he developed. Brook, who replaced his gentleman-style outfit with rockstar clothing, gained notoriety as a famous musician with the title of Soul King. He has learned the true nature of his devil fruit power, allowing him to put his body back together if the pieces get separated, and to separate his soul from his body, acting like a real ghost by actual projection, although he can be seen by others in his soul form, and can bring the very cold of the underworld, improving his fencing style with freezing effects. He's also improved his musical ability, imbuing it with the power of his own soul, and that of his devil fruit ability, to the point where he can even hypnotize people and make them see illusions. His swordsmanship has also improved, as he can now use flying sword slash techniques, and is now strong enough to cut through one of the dragons on Punk Hazard, whose body and scales are said to be stronger than steel, implying that he can now cut through steel as well. And that was the full bio of the Straw Hat Pirates. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did recording it. Tune in next time for the second part of the countdown to Pirate Warriors, where we do an intensive bio of the Straw Hats' simple-minded and sometimes idiotic captain, Monkey D. Luffy. If you like what you've heard, link, comment, subscribe below. Got any questions or comments? Leave them below. I will answer each and every one that I get. Like what you see? Just click an advertisement or two. It really does help out with the bills. Or donate directly via the tip jar. I could use a burrito. So, until next time, this has been Shin Tiger Curl, that dude in the straw hat, saying good day and time to set sail.